Okay, so today we're going to take a look at something kind of fascinating.
Yeah?
It's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust's investment strategy.
Oh, wow.
And I know that you're interested in this stuff, so hopefully our listener is too.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, we've got the Foundation's fourth quarter 2024 holdings
Okay.
straight from their SEC filing to kind of unpack and analyze. And,
Yeah.
it's not every day we get to kind of peek into the mind of
Right.
a billionaire investor.
Right, exactly.
Right, but we're not here to just chase like quick riches or anything. We're really trying to understand how someone like Bill Gates approaches long-term investing. That's impactful.
And I think what intrigues me most about this isn't your typical Silicon Valley, venture capitalist portfolio.
Oh, yeah.
This one seems to reflect a much broader vision, one that seems very deeply intertwined with the Foundation's mission to tackle global challenges.
Yeah, and so it's almost like how he's trying to solve the world's problems with smart investment.
Right.
And speaking of familiar names, right, the top holding in this portfolio is probably no surprise to anyone. It's Microsoft coming in at a pretty hefty 28.55%.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, though, is that while Microsoft remains the top holding, they actually reduced their position this quarter by 1.73%.
Okay.
And so that makes you wonder, what's behind that decision?
Right.
Was it a simple profit-taking move after our stock run-up?
Yeah.
Or is there something more strategic at play?
Right.
Could this be a rebalancing act to free up capital for other opportunities?
Yeah, it makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Even when you're Bill Gates,
Right.
you're still looking to optimize.
Exactly.
You're looking to potentially shift gears. Now, right behind Microsoft, we've got Berkshire Hathaway at 21.20%.
Right.
Talk about a legendary investment.
A classic.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What?
They significantly trimmed their position at Berkshire Hathaway this quarter.
Yeah. Okay.
By a substantial 11.21%.
Wow.
And that's not a small move.
No.
It begs the question, what might Bill Gates be seeing that we're not?
Right.
Could there be concerns about specific Berkshire Hathaway holdings?
Yeah.
Or is this indicative of a larger shift in investment strategy?
Okay.
Even with the reduction, it's still a massive piece of the portfolio.
It's almost like he's trying to send us a signal or something.
Yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The third largest holding is Waste Management, Inc.
Waste management.
Waste management.
Ah.
Yeah. Now, that's not something you see every day
No.
in a billionaire's portfolio.
Not typically, no.
No.
But you know what?
It might?
It might seem surprising at first, but it actually aligns perfectly with the Foundation's overall approach.
Really?
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
Waste management is an essential service. Demand is constant, regardless of what the economic conditions are.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic example of a sector that's often overlooked but plays such a vital role in our everyday lives.
Yeah, you're right. It's easy to overlook the mundane, but sometimes that's where the real opportunities are.
I think so.
And this focus on essential services doesn't stop there.
No.
We've also got significant holdings in Canadian National Railway at 13.25%.
Right.
And then Caterpillar at 6.35%.
Exactly. These are the companies that build and maintain the infrastructure that keeps our world running. They represent stability, reliability, the kind of backbone investments that provide a solid foundation for a portfolio.
It's like investing in the circulatory system of the global economy.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this kind of interesting mix here, right? Like we've got the cutting edge tech alongside these very essential, almost old school industries.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're about to get to something that you're particularly interested in.
Absolutely.
And I bet our listener is too.
Yeah, I think you're talking about sustainability.
I am.
Yeah, and you would be right.
Okay.
This is where the portfolio takes on a whole new dimension.
Okay.
Reflecting a commitment to companies that are not just profitable, but also actively working towards a more sustainable future.
Yeah, so let's talk about Deere Co. then.
Okay.
Which comes in at 3.59% of the portfolio.
Right.
Now, most people think tractors when they hear Deere.
Right.
But we're talking about a company at the forefront of agricultural technology.
Exactly. This goes way beyond just farm equipment.
Right.
Deere is deeply involved in precision agriculture, utilizing AI and data analytics to optimize crop yields, reduce waste, and minimize the environmental impact of farming.
So it's a sustainability play.
Absolutely.
But also tied to this idea of global impact that we keep seeing in this portfolio.
Yeah. And speaking of global impact, we can't forget about Ecolab at 2.91%.
Right.
They specialize in water hygiene and energy solutions.
Okay.
All geared towards resource efficiency, and reducing that environmental footprint.
So very much in line with what Bill Gates has been talking about.
Yeah, these are areas Bill Gates has been incredibly vocal about.
Right.
Both through his philanthropic work and his investment choices.
Yeah, it's almost like these investments are like a tangible extension
I think so.
of his personal values.
Yeah.
You know, like he's putting his money where his mouth is.
Precisely. And that's what makes this portfolio so compelling.
Okay.
It's not just about maximizing returns.
Right.
It's about aligning wealth with a vision for a better future.
Okay.
It suggests a belief that the most successful companies in the future will be those that address these pressing global challenges.
Okay, so we've covered quite a bit now, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about the tech, we've talked about the essential services,
Right.
we've talked about sustainability,
Yep.
but there are a few more pieces of this puzzle to look at.
Right.
What about the rest of the top 10 holdings?
Okay, well, we've got Walmart at 1.95%.
Okay.
Adding a dose of consumer goods to the mix.
Right.
Then there's FedEx at 1.70%,
Okay.
bringing that global logistics element, ensuring goods can be transported efficiently and sustainably.
Makes sense.
And finally, rounding out the top 10 is Coca-Cola FEMSA at 1.15%.
Coca-Cola, that's an interesting one.
Right.
What do you make of that?
Well, it might seem a bit out of place at first glance, but it actually makes sense when you consider the broader context.
Okay.
Coca-Cola FEMSA operates primarily in Latin America.
Right.
And is a major employer in those regions, contributing to economic development.
Okay.
Plus, they've made significant strides in water stewardship and sustainability initiatives.
So it's not just about what they produce.
Exactly.
It's about how they operate,
Yeah.
their commitment to social responsibility.
Right. It fits into this bigger picture of impact investing.
It does, and it also highlights the importance of diversification.
Absolutely.
Even with this focus on impact.
Yeah.
This portfolio isn't putting all of its eggs in one basket.
Right.
You know, there's a balance between the high growth potential sectors like tech and the more stable dividend paying companies.
Nicely.
You know, we've been looking at these individual holdings, these pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
But I'm curious, what do you think this portfolio tells us about Bill Gates' overall investment strategy? If you had to sum it up in just a few words, what would you say? It feels like a pretty consistent theme, right? Like balancing innovation and these essential services with a commitment to a sustainable future.
Absolutely.
But I'm really curious, like, how does Bill Gates actually put this philosophy into practice?
Yeah.
How does he go from these big picture ideas to choosing specific companies? Like, what's his secret sauce?
Well, there's no, like, magic formula, but
okay,
we can glean some insights from his past investments
and
his public statements. One thing's for sure, though, but it's Bill Gates doesn't just throw darts at a stock board.
No.
He has a very deliberate approach.
Okay, so walk me through it then.
Okay.
What are some of the key things he looks for in a company?
First and foremost, he wants to see companies that are tackling big, meaningful problems.
Okay.
He's not interested in, incremental improvements or chasing the latest fad.
Right.
It's about addressing those fundamental challenges.
Yeah.
Things like poverty, disease, climate change.
So it's not about, finding the next trendy gadget.
No.
It's about finding solutions to these issues that really matter.
Exactly. And those solutions need to be scalable.
Okay.
Bill Gates wants to invest in companies that can reach millions, even millions of people with their products or services.
Okay.
So it's about having real global impact.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
What good is a solution if it only works for a small group of people?
Exactly. Another crucial factor is what Bill Gates calls the theory of change.
Theory of change.
Yeah, it's about understanding how a company believes its product or service will actually lead to the desired outcome.
Okay.
Is there a clear, logical path from innovation to impact?
So it's not just about having a good idea.
No.
It's about having a solid plan for how you're going to make that idea a reality.
Right. And just as important is measurement.
Okay.
Bill Gates is a data-driven guy.
Of course.
He wants to see evidence that companies are tracking their progress, that they're able to measure their impact in a meaningful way.
So it's about showing results.
Yeah.
Proving that you're actually making a difference.
Absolutely. And all of this has to be driven by a strong management team.
Okay.
Bill Gates invests in people as much as he invests in ideas.
Right.
He wants to see leaders who are passionate, visionary, and committed to that positive impact we keep talking about.
So it's about believing in the people behind the company.
Yeah.
Trusting them to steer the ship in the right direction.
Exactly. And of course, even with the focus on impact,
right.
Bill Gates also considers the financial viability of the company.
Right. He's got to make money too.
Well, he understands that sustainable solutions require financial stability. He's looking for companies that can generate a return on investment, that can grow and scale their operation while remaining financially sound.
So it's all about finding that balance between purpose and profit, making the world a better place while also running a successful business.
Precisely. It's a model that I think we can all learn from.
Yeah.
Even if we don't have billions to invest.
So what can we, the average investors and consumers, take away from all this?
I think the key takeaway is that we all have the power to be impact investors.
Okay.
To make choices that align with our values. It's not just about how much money we have. It's about how we choose to use it. Every dollar we spend, every investment we make is a vote for the kind of future we want to create.
So it's about being mindful, being intentional with our choices.
Exactly. And it's about asking ourselves, what problems are we passionate about solving? How can we support companies that are working towards those solutions? How can we use our resources, no matter how big or small, to make a positive difference in the world?
It's been a really incredible journey, exploring the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust Portfolio.
It has.
Who knew waste management could be so fascinating?
Right. There's always something unexpected to discover when you take a deep dive.
That's true.
But I think the most important lesson here is that we don't have to be billionaires to make a difference.
Right.
We can all be impact investors in our own way.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Bill Gates and impact investing.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, S.A.B.